Now we're going to learn about AR, ER, and IR verbs. There are 3 types of verbs in Spanish, and those are it, AR, ER, and IR. How do you tell whether a verb is AR, ER, or IR? Well, just look at the ending. Okay? Hablar. How do we know this is an AR verb? We just look at the ending. It's an AR verb. It ends in AR. Comer, same thing. ER, escribir. IR, because it ends in IR. Okay? It's pretty simple. But we need to know what these verbs mean. Hablar means to talk. Yes, you do need the preposition to when you're talking about verbs. Comer means to eat. Escribir means to write. Okay? So if we want to say I write, or I eat, or I speak, these are the conjugations. Okay? Remember, the order goes in I, you, he, she, we, y'all, they. So write these down. These don't actually have any meaning. This O doesn't have any meaning. This ice doesn't have any meaning. That is just the ending of the verb that you're going to do. Okay, so how do you conjugate the verb? Well, take off the ending. So to say I speak, we take off the AR. That's called the infinitive. We take off the infinitive, and for I speak, we're going to add the O, because it goes in I, you, he, she, we, y'all, they. This means I speak. Okay? So let's do they eat. They eat every Thursday at their family's house. Well, step 1, take off the ER. You're left with this prefix, and now you've got to figure out what ending are you going to attach to the verb for they eat. Well, I, you, he, she, we, y'all, they. In this case, it's going to be en. Comen means they eat. Okay? This is a very helpful strategy for you, because as you read, you will see that when verbs end in these endings, you'll be able to tell who it's talking about just by the ending. Okay, let's take a look at another example. For escribir, escribir means to write. So what if we wanted to say we write our pen pal every month? Well, step 1, take off the infinitive. We're left with this. But what ending would we add for we write? Well, let's go back to the order. I, you, he, she, we, y'all, they. Imos. Escribimos is saying we write. So what I was saying before about how you can tell who you're talking about because of the ending, we know that any verb that ends in imos, amos, or amos is talking about the subject pronoun we. Does that make sense? Hopefully so. Let's look at another example. We'll try a few in English. Okay. Number 1. We sing. They run. He, let's say we'll say dances. Okay. Well, as you notice, these are in English, so we have to know the verbs for all of these actions. We have to know how to say to sing, to run, to dance. If we don't know how to say those, then we can't really go any further than this. Okay? So I'm going to give you these verbs for right now. To sing is cantar. That means to sing. Run is correr. And to dance is bailar. So now that we know these, there's a starting point for us. Now all we have to do is conjugate them for the given subject. Okay, so step 1, we sing. Take off the infinitive. We have to know what ending to add for the subject we. In this case, it's almost, because this is an AR verb. Cantamos. We sing. Okay? They run. Step 1. Take off the infinitive. Now because this is an ER verb, we have a slightly different ending. Just one letter, not that bad. We're going to add corren. The N is telling you that it's they run. Okay? So for he dances, well, step 1, take off the AR. Now we need to attach the ending that we need for he, she. In this case, it's a. Baila. He dances. Hopefully that makes sense, and I'll see you in class tomorrow.